Hey guys, this is Wayne Harley here with Team Rowforge, and today we're going to highlight some mobility training. Now, there's tons of great things about the rower, although a few things that we need to make sure we balance out is some hip extension, some rotation of our hips, our lower back. That can get tight sometimes. I think everybody's experienced that if they've rowed enough. So it's important to throw some of these exercises in here to just balance out some of those adaptations that we get from the rower. So we're going to make it really quick. I want to just highlight the hips and lower back, like I said, and I'm going to show you something very simple. This is like level 1. We're going to keep the intensity really low. So number 1, I'm going to start with this mat here. Now, what I want to do is comfortably sit down, and I'm trying to achieve a 90-degree angle with both legs, okay? So you can see I got a 90-degree angle. A lot of people, when I show them this, they end up kind of in this position. So I tell them just extend your leg out a little bit, extend this one out, make sure we have that nice 90-degree angle. And if this is really difficult for you, feel free to just lean back a little bit. That's okay, use your hands. Don't think that you need to be here. If you can, that's great too, but we want to keep the intensity like a 3 out of 10, okay? 10 being really intense, 3 being not so intense. Don't stretch too hard, right? So if you're here, that's fine. Now the goal is to get this leg up while I'm still keeping this leg down. So we're gonna add some rotation in the hip. I'm opening up the hip here a little bit, and then I'm just gonna transfer back over to the other side. And I'm kind of now achieved this on the other side of my body, right? And I'm gonna bring this leg down. And I feel comfortable sitting up here. It actually feels good. I have a little stretch in my glute now. So that's good for me. Like I said though, if it's too intense for you, feel fine just leaning back, that's okay. And then I'm just gonna cycle back over to the other side. Once again, now moving this leg up. I'm still trying to keep this leg down for now as I transition over to the other side. So that's like 1 rep, right? And then I feel, once again, comfortable just leaning forward, adding a little stretching in my hip. You can even start to rotate your spine here. That's gonna give you a little stretch in your lumbar. If you notice that I'm not holding my stretches for too long, that can actually take you the opposite way, meaning like it's gonna make you feel tighter. We wanna stretch like max 6 to 8 seconds. So I'm getting a little stretch here, doing a little count in my head, like 6, 8 seconds, then I'm gonna add that lumbar stretch. That feels good to me, and then I'm gonna move and do the opposite again. We've shown that's actually more effective in lengthening tissue is just stretching very lightly for a shorter amount of time. Like I said, 6 to 8 seconds. Keeping the intensity low once again, and then I'm switching to the other side. I do this almost every day because it just feels great. And like I said, it's gonna balance out the rower. You know, when we're on the rower, we're in this position, and then of course we're just straightening the legs and only getting to here. We're never really fully extending the hip, and we're not rotating the hip. And the body and the brain adapt to what we do. So if we're doing, you know, hundreds and maybe thousands of repetitions on the rower, we need to make sure we do quite a few repetitions of the opposite to try to balance it out. Okay, so that's a little bit of hip and lumbar. And then of course, I want to stretch out and get my hip into full extension. Like I said, on the rower, you're never going to get into full extension, which is fine, but I just, once again, need to balance it out. So you can see my right leg is extended here. Now, I'm only going to hold it for like 6 to 8 seconds, or I need to like kind of lighten up the pressure, or I could actually move side to side and forward and back and create a little circular motion. This feels good on the hip flexor. Once again, you might want to ease into some of these stretches. If it's too intense, just back it off a little bit. Be respectful of your central nervous system, you know, and what it's telling you. And then I'm just going to load this front leg, shoot this leg back. And like at first, it's a little tight. So I'm just taking it nice and easy. I'm drawing little circles here. So I'm stretching a little bit and then releasing. Stretching and releasing. It's also a great opportunity to just learn how to control my hip. It's kind of teaching my brain how to move the hip better, right? and then I'm gonna load this front leg again and switch to the other side. Okay, so you can do this as many times as you want. Just going back and forth is advisable versus like holding this stretch for too long, okay? Now, I also have this little tool here called the TrueBack. You can get this on Amazon, I'm pretty sure. I love this because this helps extend my spine. When I'm on the rower, I'm never gonna have a good spinal extension. So it's helpful to do this laying down initially. Be able to extend your spine all the way back. Feels awesome. And I'm gonna slowly sit back up. And I'll go through that process again. Extending all the way back. I'm gonna hold for like 6 to 8 seconds. I might even reach here. And then I'm gonna sit back up again. And go through that process maybe 6 to 8 times, right? Just keep your repetitions low in the beginning. Okay, so that's a great tool. If you don't have that, stability ball is great. Most people have one of these. And you can do a very similar thing where I'm just gonna lay all the way back. I'm gonna try to extend my spine to shape the ball. I can reach back and then sit all the way up and round out. So I'm just getting some nice mobility here, moving all the joints. And when we move joints, the tissue is gonna lengthen. So it's kind of like an alternate way of stretching. Hope that makes sense. And last one I'm gonna have you guys do is a lumbar circle. I can show you from like this angle here. I'm gonna tilt one way. It's gonna stretch some of these muscles here. And then I'm gonna round out my spine. End up tilting on the other side. If you feel comfortable, extend your spine. If you don't, that's fine. Just go to an upright position. So I'm gonna extend, and now I'm back to the other side again. And that's what makes the circle. Slight bend in the knees helps here. Flexing over, extending. And then I'm gonna practice going back around the other way. So already that feels way better, and I'm thinking, okay, now I'm ready to do some hard rowing and all that. We're gonna do the workout Legacy, which is in the signature workout area of the Rowforge app. And there's gonna be some pretty intense rowing for about a minute. And then we also have some kettlebell work to do in between in a Bulgarian bag. So should be fun. And thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate it. I hope all that mobility stuff helps you today. And your row is gonna feel better now that you're all stretched out and ready to go. All right, have a great day.